What's poppin', you guys? It's your girl SJ, and I'm here with my good homie.
Jeff.
And together we are the Popcorn Patrol podcast. It's another week, another movie review, and we are doing Crazy Rich Asians. Hope you stick around as we let you know what our popcorn rating is. Welcome back, guys. It's your girl SJ, and I'm here with my good homie Jeff, and we are reviewing Crazy Rich Asians this week. Jeff, let me give you a synopsis, a little brief, little short story here. Okay, Rachel Chu is accompanying her longtime boyfriend Nick to his best friend's wedding in Singapore. She's also surprised to learn that Nick's family is extremely wealthy and he's considered one of the country's top most eligible bachelors. Thrown into the spotlight, Rachel must now deal with the jealous socialites and quirky relatives, and worst of all, Nick's disapproving mother, his mama. So I guess, Jeff, give us the skinny on this movie.
Well, this movie was released in 2018. It had a budget of only $30 million. And the box office brought in almost 240 million for this movie. So box office success. It was directed by John M. Chu. It was written by Peter Shirelli, Adele Lim, Kevin Kwan, and it stars Constance Wu, Henry Golding, and Michelle Yeoh.
Right. There's lots of great actors in this movie. That was what I first noticed. So I guess we should get into our popcorn paradise of it all.
Sure. What do you got for the first popcorn paradise?
Okay, listen, we open the scene there. The music is lively. It's fun, and most of the music in this movie is fun. We see that the set design is kind of vibrant as well. We start off at the hotel where I guess it all started for Nick Young's family. Yeah, I kind of like that aspect that they opened up with some fun music. Uh, it- it's in Mandarin. I believe it's in Mandarin. Jeff, what do you have? Do you have anything else?
For popcorn paradise, yeah, I like that opening. I like it when someone's just being a jerk and the other person just puts them in their spot.
Sticks it.
So like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the bell or the the person at the desk is just like, yeah, sorry, we don't have you listed here. Why don't you go to the Asian place or the
Right.
Chinese place, right? Total racism,
Blatant
just real bad
racism.
stuff. And she didn't like it, so she asked to use the phone and to call her
She made her
husband,
go
and they
outside
used the payphone. Like what a
in the
bunch of
rain.
yeah, losers. Anyway, so then she come back and apparently she had bought the hotel.
Right.
And yeah, so just it was awesome to see,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And at that point, I realized what I was getting into. It was just like, oh, okay, it's going to be one of these kind of movies. This is going to be great. It was great setup.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have that first point about the hotel as well. I did enjoy that scene. Listen, I really like the characters in this movie. Each one of them have their own little personality, and it was terrific. There were some good humor moments, some funny moments with Aquafina.
She does not fit in this movie very well. Sorry, I don't mean to.
No, no.
It's not necessarily a popcorn prison. Everybody is so just kind of chill in this movie. They're just relaxed. Everybody's just a little bit quiet. They all have their lines, but they all seem to be this quiet is more powering. And then you have Aquafina who comes in and her family, and they're just a bunch of loudmouth,
Quirky
crazy
weirdos.
wackos that are
So
just nuts.
I think that comes from the idea that Asians are more reserved and they kind of don't act, they're not quirky as Aquafina or whatever. But I think they wanted to show that there are these unconventional families. I mean, like everyone has them, right? We all have an uncle or an aunt That's a little weird. I am that aunt probably, but I think that's kind of what they were doing there. But yeah, Ken Jeong, he's just a weirdo in this movie, doing too much, doing way too much. But I did like Aquafina, even though like I know you thought she didn't fit in. I thought she fit in fine. As the quirky friend.
I love how he's talking with this
Oh, the
I don't
Asian
even pick it
accent.
up. Yeah, Ken Jong. I don't even like I don't even know how to explain this. So there's a scene where he's talking to the friend, like the main character, and he's talking in this like accent, like he's
Right.
talking English, and
And
he
like
sounds like he has this
slow.
accent, and then all of a sudden he just flips his American accent on, and he's like, "I'm kidding. I don't even have an accent," and he's talking like this almost crystal clear American accent, and he's just like, I went to this school and lived in this place for a long time, and it was funny to just see that switch.
Yeah. And it's possible too, because a lot of like a lot of people that live out in Asia, um, my Asians not excluded, they'll often travel to different countries that are, let's say, with better schools or whatever to get their education, to get
Mhm.
their degrees or whatever. So it's not surprising, but it was a funny thing when he just like flipped it. He was talking so slow at first. I was like, what is he doing? Why is and then I realized that once he flipped it, he was just kind of messing with her a little bit. And so that was cute. I want to talk a little bit about Rachel and also Nick Young's characters. They were like super sweet. Even though they were the main characters, there's nothing really wrong with them. It was more about the chaos that was happening around
Around
them,
them.
which I kind of liked. Um, but yeah, that was kind of one of the scenes that I like. I liked them as a couple. They were cute, a really cute couple. I thought they had good chemistry as well.
Yep.
And I like when Rachel was found out that he had money, like when he told her that his family is well off kind of thing. And she was like, "Yeah, but you used my Jambo Juice card. You used my Netflix login." And I thought that was cute because
Well, there is a stereotype that rich people are rich for a reason, and it's
right,
that they're super cheap. They just don't
right.
buy.
I've heard that. They don't
Like
buy stuff.
I mean, I don't know if I. Yeah, I'm not even gonna.
I don't believe that
Yeah.
one moment for one moment. But anyways,
Well, I kind of
um
do. Like, I know some of the older rich people. I know at least of one rich couple that they would go to like an all-you-could-eat buffet, and they would bring Ziploc bags, and they would fill up their purse or bag with food from the buffet.
okay,
Um,
so I had an aunt who would go to weddings with her own Tupperware.
yeah, yeah.
True story. And I was like, I remember looking at my sister, my older sister, and we were like, oh my goodness. Like it's not something I'd ever seen. But I don't know. I feel like that's kind of smart. You want to get your money's worth. But I've noticed like I think people who are considered rich, I think and the ones that are cheap and rich, I think those people tend to spend their money on certain things, whereas certain things they cut. Like, so, like, for example, your friends, they probably don't mind spending money at a buffet, but they want to get their money's worth. They bring their own Ziploc bags, take that home.
Mhm.
Um, but maybe they have a Ferrari. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
it's all in like balance. It's all in the way you like view
Yep.
things, I think. And so yeah, you know. But yeah, this movie has all of that. I mean, there's a lot of that. I mean, it is what the title is, Crazy Rich Asians, like, and you really see that with the people, like I was saying, the people around the two main characters really make that apparent. Also, okay, so when they get to Singapore, when they get to Singapore, I really like this scene because it made me feel like I wanted to go to Singapore like now and eat all the street food. Like I just wanted to eat
Okay.
all the street food. But I have a friend who went to India actually. She's Canadian and she went to India with one of my other friends and she ate street food not thinking about the consequences and she almost ended up in the hospital because she just wasn't used to the natural bacterias in that region or whatever. So yeah, you got to be careful, guys. Got to be careful. It may look good to eat, but you got to be mindful. I like that this movie was very much a rom-com. There's nothing else I can say about it. It's a rom-com, true to what it is, with crazy rich Asians in it. I just want to say before I go to Popcorn Prison is that I really liked Rachel's mom. I liked her character. I thought she was strong, she was kind, she was smart, and she seemed to take care of Rachel, very supportive of Rachel in whatever she did. And I like that because she didn't act like your typical Asian parent. And also one scene that I wanted to note as well was that scene at the end, near the ending when their friends are getting married and you see the water go up the aisle. Wow, I was just like, who's getting married? Like, this is what kind of
That
wedding
was
is
the
this?
coolest thing.
It
That
was
was the
so
coolest thing.
neat.
I like that a
It
lot.
was beautiful. Can you imagine like actually going to a wedding like that where there's like palm trees and tropical leaves everywhere, and then you have this water stream coming down the I mean,
That wedding scene was majestic
it was beautiful,
because
yeah.
they had the lanterns at the front, and I can't remember the exact order, but there was like the lights went down a little bit low, but those lanterns
Yes.
were lit up.
Oh,
And
they had the firefly things that everyone had, and it was
yeah, there was those
so
two. Yeah,
cute.
it was really neat. Yeah.
That's
It's
like
not
I
what I
was like,
pictured this like a luxurious wedding to be, but I guess it's a different culture, so it would be
right.
different, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and you have to remember, I think Singapore is a little more tropical kind of in that regard, and I feel like this it felt like it felt like what Singapore would feel like. Yeah, just an outstanding. That's probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie is um that moment for sure. Do you have anything else for Popcorn
Oh yeah, yeah, I
Paradise?
do. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that this movie wasn't easy to predict. Things weren't really going the way I was expecting them in certain spots. One being after that wedding, they're at the reception, they're all dancing and having fun. And the grandma all movie had appeared to like Rachel.
Rachel.
She made comments about her and liked her, was really positive. So when they called Rachel and Nick over to where the grandma was, I was fully expecting the grandma to give Rachel her
Her
ring
blessing. Oh, okay, okay.
because they made a big deal of it earlier, that the mom didn't get the blessing and
Right.
that she was supposed to get the ring, but she didn't. And up till that point, Rachel was getting all these positive comments from the grandma. So I was expecting the grandma to give her the ring and it would make the mom super mad and send her off the edge. I wasn't expecting the mom to have dug up some dirt and then the grandma be like, yeah, we don't like Rachel anymore. And I
Right.
wasn't expecting that. That was kind of I was
So I
expecting a different conflict.
Right. I mean, I knew there was going to be conflict from the mom from the beginning because those
Oh,
side eyes, like the
absolutely.
bombastic
Yep.
side eyes she was given, like since the whole movie.
Yep.
And she's kind of like looking at Rachel kind of like she's like this bug on the wall kind of thing.
Absolutely.
And I knew some stuff was gonna go down with her. I just didn't know what. And so yeah, I thought like after the wedding, I thought things would like quiet down a little bit. But then after she dug up the dirt, the mom dug up the dirt, and the grandma was like, "Oh, we that's disgrace to the family. You can't let Nick marry someone like that into the family," was the gist of it. And yeah, it I wasn't expecting it either, so it was neat to see. Anything else for you,
I
Jeff?
think I'm good. Well, there's one more thing. I
Okay.
want to go to the boat on the skyscraper at the end. There was that giant, there was like three skyscrapers in a row and then a giant boat on top of them that connects all three of them. And it was like the final scene of the movie. And I want to go there one day. That looks cool as hell. The other thing too I wanted to mention was they were going on the bachelor party
Yes.
and they're like, oh yeah, we got to get in these helicopters because we got to give you the best bachelor party.
Right.
It's not just strippers and blow. It's got to be more bigger than that.
Right.
And part of this movie felt like it was a romantic comedy, but then other parts of this movie very much felt like it was The Hangover. And you know what I mean? Like the party part of the Hangover, not
Sure.
necessarily the next day of it, but going onto a barge that was this like party barge, never
Okay,
even
first of all, flying into an airplane to go to your bachelor in the middle of the ocean,
international waters, nothing illegal.
like
They had a
it was
rocket launcher on there and they're launching rockets out of the boat,
it was
out of the
and
barge.
I think they did that on purpose to illustrate how much money these people actually really
Sure,
have,
I'm
right?
not sure if you picked up or not, but near the end of that scene, one of the lady friends asked if she could fire it, and when she did, when it launched, she went flying backwards off into one of the big metal containers.
I didn't see
Yeah,
it.
it was in the background. It wasn't
Okay, okay.
foreground of the scene,
I
so
didn't
it would have
catch
been
it.
easily to miss. But I watch for that kind of stuff, and it was hilarious to
That's
see that.
funny.
Yeah, the amount of detail,
The blowback from
the rocket
the
launcher.
rocket launcher.
It was probably,
Yeah,
yeah, I
that
mean, I think it was a rocket launcher, but
and
I
then
feel
they
like
cut directly to the scene where the girls are like doing yoga and they're going shopping and then Rachel gets a fish in her bed. Like, I don't know, it seemed like I mean girls party hard too. They can party hard. I don't know about a rocket launcher and all that stuff, but they can throw it down, you know?
yeah,
Okay. Listen, one of my big popcorn prisons here is like I don't feel like this movie reinvents the wheel in any way. I feel like we've seen this movie before, like you were saying. It felt like different parts of different movies kind of stitched together, just with crazy rich Asians thrown in there, and it feels different than a Hallmark. It still feels pretty generic, if you ask me. Another popcorn prison I had was Astrid and her husband's relationship. Like,
okay.
like it felt weird from the top, but they also showed a lot of it. Like I felt like we saw more of that relationship than Rachel.
My guess for that is, so I'm pretty sure it's Gemma Chan that plays Astrid,
Hmm.
and Gemma Chan is decent actor. Like she's
Yeah,
decently, I don't want to say size. It's not about body, but she's
yeah,
like a well-known actress
sure.
and or actor. And so I think that if you're gonna have star power like that in the movie, and she's
You
not gonna
have
be
to
the
get
main character,
right.
you have to give her something just because like you're not going to have like, say for maybe this is the wrong comparison, but you're not going to have Angelina Jolie come in, play a sister of somebody, and her only get 3-4 minutes of screen time, and then that's it, because why would you pay her all that money for that, and she's like, you know what I mean? So I think that's
Yeah,
not saying that Gemma Chan is Angelina Jolie, but I think the comparison is kind of similar there. If you have a bigger named actress in there, then
right.
why why waste your time and not have her on the screen?
Yeah, I mean, that being said, I did like her character. She was super sweet and she's beautiful. She's a beautiful
She's one of
actress
the
too.
few, other than the main couple, she's one of the few likable characters.
Yeah,
The rest of them are
yeah.
these catty
My God, they're
mean
awful.
girls that are just they're fake, and they're either malicious or they're fake and annoying.
I
It
did like super jealous, like
Yeah,
green with envy style. And I remember when the Nick's ex, when they're at the spas talking
Amanda.
to Rachel, like she kind of tried to disguise it like she was being nice, but then
Yeah,
she's so devious. I was like, ooh,
that was
you
deep. Like that was
it
deep. Right from the beginning.
yeah.
Like I can't stand these. women, like they're terrible. Look at them, you know. So it was just she could see that she's at a place and was just
Yeah.
like, you know, being very mischievous right from the beginning.
Yeah, and I think I'd feel the same way with Rachel, you know, like as Rachel, sorry. I'd feel
Yeah.
the same way because I'm like, I tend to stay away from people like that. I want nothing to do with people like that.
Yeah.
And so her being put into it, it it felt weird. Like I felt like I was there and I was like, I guess that's a popcorn paradise, maybe. I don't know, but it's just I don't like mean people. I don't like watching other people be mean, but of course you have to have some conflict in the movie for but yeah, that was one of my popcorn prisons was the Astrid fact. How about you? What else do you
That
have?
relationship. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I kind of felt like that was kind of a little unnecessary. There was no like the end result of that relationship didn't provide any growth or advancement of the story
No.
for the main couple.
Right.
The one thing that I
It almost seemed like a side story, right? Like a
yeah,
separate thing from what was happening. So,
yeah, I one thing that kind of lines back up in it's it's a comment to your popcorn prison, but it's more of a paradise. You'd said this movie was kind of generic. We've kind of seen this before, even if it's bits and pieces from other movies. With that said, I would still like to see another entry into this universe with these characters and actresses
so
and
funny you say
actors.
that, Jeff.
Oh,
I
is it-
believe there is a number 2 kicking
oh,
around
okay. All
somewhere.
right. I mean,
I
don't
was
I didn't like absolutely love this movie, but I'm definitely interested in seeing a second entry into this universe.
sure, sure. So should we give our popcorn ratings then? Are you ready to do that?
There was only one other thing that I wanted to is a small nitpicky, you know me.
Yep,
At the beginning of the movie, when they're deciding, he's asking her to go to Singapore with him to be a date
sure,
wedding. I and I understand it's a movie, and that's why it's just a little nitpicky, and it's not a problem for me. I just
sure,
didn't like how fast they weren't even done the conversation, and the mom was already calling him. Like I didn't like how fast that went. It would have
sure.
been much more believable or better if it was like a couple hours later or the next day. But they weren't even done that conversation. S- Some lady sees him, takes a picture of him with this girl. Then all of a sudden, it's this montage of who's that? Oh, that's this person. That, and then they like trying to figure out. And I like that montage. That was kind of cool. But you could have done that after the fact, you know, and not be before they're finished the conversation. The mom's calling them. So, who's this girl you're bringing to the wedding?
Right.
And it's just like I don't know. But like I said, small
The
nitpick.
timing was a little off, I
Yeah, it was
guess,
just
on
like
that
that was
part.
that's a little too quick. Like I said, small nitpicky. I'm definitely giving this movie if we're going to the ratings, I'm I'm torn with this movie because I want to give it a large popcorn.
Okay.
I want to give it a large popcorn really badly, but I I I don't want to have it in the same category of movies that is a large, but it doesn't belong in the medium either.
Okay.
So I have to give it a medium, but I'm upset with myself that I'm rating it that low because overall I feel better about the movie than a medium popcorn. It's the top end of the medium popcorn.
Sure, sure. You know what is funny is that I had the same problem as you this week. This movie kind of was like, I was like, is this a medium or a large? And I really struggled with what I wanted to give it because it's not a medium, but
Right.
it's not quite a large. Like it's
Yeah.
not in that category. I ended up going with a large popcorn because I couldn't decide. And the movie is enjoyable. It had great scenes, some fun humor. You know, it's very visually pleasing to watch. I didn't feel like this movie was extremely long. Like it was very
Mm.
watchable and enjoyable. If it ever came on, I would be watching it again. Like I would stop and sit down, maybe make some popcorn and watch this movie again. Um,
If you average out our ratings, it would be a large sized medium popcorn.
right. Like it's filled. The medium popcorn is filled up like a
Yeah.
couple of scoops higher.
Yep.
Uh, I got teary-eyed at some of the wedding scenes at the end and stuff, so it made me feel a little something something. But this, don't get it twisted. This is an OG rom-com disguised is what this is, but
Mhm.
it's still good. Like I still enjoyed it. So, um, with that, I am a large popcorn. Jeff is a medium popcorn, and I think it's time for you know what? It's like
Woohoo.
it's like Voldemort. We
Yeah.
don't name it
You don't
anymore. We
name it,
just
yeah.
go. um, so listen, it's the mom joke of the daytime. This is not a question one, so just try and follow along. A fish was swimming in the sea. It went deeper and deeper and suddenly began to cry. Another fish passed by and asked him, "Why are you crying?" That fish said, "I feel so much pressure."
All right. You can follow us on Twitter, and we're on Instagram and TikTok. And you can watch our podcast on Spotify and YouTube.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to let you know that I took that joke off. I was looking for some funny but non-offensive Asian type jokes, and that was on an Asian website, that joke. So
Nice.
I chose it, and Jeff is trying to skim past it, but I'm not letting you guys. I just have to put it out there. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed the pod this week, and stay tuned as we start doing Oscar picks next month, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching Popcorn Patrol. Oh, peace.